Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another session of IGCSE Math Preparation. My name is Irfan, and as I have promised you before, we're going to do some topicalized question. The topic that I have selected for you guys today is time. So without any further ado, let's start with question number one. So we have a train which leaves Zurich at 22:40 and arrives in Vienna at 7:32 the next day, right? That would be AM in the morning. So work out the time taken. So what you can do is to see how many more hours you need to add to this time to basically complete a day. So 24 minus 22:40, and that would give us, you can actually reduce this to 23, and you lend 1 hour to this guy here, but you know 1 hour is 60 minutes. This becomes 60, and if you do the subtraction, you get 1 hour 20 minutes, right? As simple as that. And then you add it with this time, because after this is in the morning, right? 7:32 a.m. So it's past the midnight already. So all I have to do is to add these two numbers, and that would be the answer. 7:32 plus 120, that would be 8:52, 8 hours, 52 minutes. Let's move on to the next question. Guys, I strongly suggest you to pause the video each time and try to answer the questions yourselves. Don't just wait for my answers. If you have watched the video regarding the time, you should be able to answer these questions by yourself. So a doctor starts work at 20:40 and finishes work at 6:10 the next day. How long is the doctor at work? So basically it's the same thing, and they want the answer in hours and minutes. And if we use these numbers, we're gonna end up with hours and minutes. So we don't need to do any conversion at the end. So I'm gonna use the same approach, meaning which I see how many hours and minutes I need to complete a day. So that would be 3 hours, 20 minutes. I did it in my mind, but if it's not clear for you guys, you can just do the subtraction and you get 3 hours, 20 minutes, right? And then add it with this guy right here, and you get 9 hours, 30 minutes, right? Hours with hours, minutes with minutes. So this was an easy question. After all, it only carries 1 mark. So question number 3, we have a bus company in Dubai has the following operating times. Okay, these are the weekdays, the starting time and the finishing time. So what are we asked to do? Calculate the total number of hours that the bus company operates in 1 week. All right, so hopefully from Saturday to Thursday, the hours are fixed. So I just calculate for 1 and then multiply it by 6, right? Because there are 6 days which are the same. The last day, the Friday, is just different. We're gonna calculate it at the end. So how many hours is that from 6 a.m. to 24 or the midnight? So basically you just subtract it, right? And we end up with 18 hours. So Saturday, 18 hours, same thing goes on all the way to Thursday. So 6 times 18 plus, and this guy right here on Friday, it's a little bit different. So we don't need to convert that to 12 hour system. We just can say 24 minus 13, that would give us 11, right? And we add 11 here. So at the end, we have 108 plus 11, which gives us 119. right? 119 hours. They want it in hours. So I think we can move on to the next question. Oh, there is part B as well, right? The starting time on Friday in the 12-hour clock. So this is basically 1 hour past noon, right? The midday. So that is 1 p.m. Basically, what you need to do, if it's more than 12, you subtract 12 from it. For example, 15 hour, you convert it to 12-hour clock. You subtract 12 and you just put p.m. in front of it. And if it's less than 12, right? So you don't do anything and you just put a.m. in front of it because it's already in the morning, right? So in this question, I would say it's 1 p.m. Question number 4, Krista had a music lesson every week for 1 year. Okay, each of the 52 lessons lasted for 45 minutes. Calculate the total time that Krista spent in music lessons. Give your time in hours. All right, maybe the last part is a little bit tricky, but the first part, to find the total time, you just have to multiply these two numbers. You can use a calculator for that. 52 times 45 give us 2,340 minutes. So how did I get that? By multiplying these two numbers. And then, you know, each hour is 60 minutes. Divide this. So, okay, I start a new line. Divide this by 60. That should give us 39 hours. So hopefully there was no decimal after that. And that's it. It's a very round number to work with. That's 39 hours. So let's move on to question number 5. The time in Lisbon is the same as the time in Funchal. A plane left Lisbon at 8:30 and arrived in Funchal at 10:20. If then left Funchal at 12:55 and returned to Lisbon, the return journey took 15 minutes more. So what time did the plane arrive in Lisbon? So let's see what we have. We leave Lisbon 8:30, arrived Funchal at 10:20. If then left Funchal, okay, and returned to Lisbon, the return journey took 15 minutes more. What time did the plane? Okay, so I think it's clear. You need to find out how long it took the first journey, right? And then the second journey took 15 minutes more. And then we're gonna add it to this time at which we left the Funchal, and that would be the time we arrive in Lisbon. So that's the approach I'm gonna use. So how long would that be? The difference between 8:30 and 10:20. Maybe you can do that in your mind, some of you, but I'm just gonna write it down here for those who might find it difficult. It's very clear that it should be 1 hour 50 minutes, right? However, if you're not able to do it mentally, it's fine, guys. So you borrow 60 here, and that would be 80, subtract 30 from it, and this is 150, right? 150 hour, and then we add it to 1250. I'm sorry, you add 15, don't forget to add 15. So the return journey takes, if you add 15 minutes to 1 hour 50 minutes, you get 2 hours and 5 minutes, right? 2 hours and 5 minutes. So, and then you basically add this to 12:55. So this is the return journey, the time return journey. Okay, and then you add 205. This goes 60. So you don't put 60 down here because 60 is already 1 hour. So instead, you put zeros and then add 1 here. That would be 15, right? Or 3 p.m. But this is sufficient. You don't need to do the conversion to 12-hour clock, right? So that's it. So let's move on to question number 6. Okay, we are given a table and then a shop. That's the operation of a specific shop on weekdays and weekend as well, Saturday and Sunday. Okay, write the closing time on Saturday in the 12-hour clock time. The closing time, where is Saturday? Saturday is here. So you subtract, so this is a number greater than 12, right? So you subtract 12 from it and you end up with 5:30 p.m. The next question is calculate the total number of hours the shop is open in 1 week. So we have to calculate for each column separately. This one would be 1730 minus 645. This one would be 1730 minus 730. And this one would be 12 minus 845, right? So the first one, that gives us, this is 16, 90 minus 45 is 45, 16 minus 6, that is 10 hour 45 minutes from Monday to Friday. However, don't forget that is how many days? 5 days. So 5 times, they want the answer in, let me see, they want in hour or the total number of hours. Okay, so that means I need to convert this to hour first. 10 hours 45 minutes, guys, is equal to 10.75 hour. Now, how's that so? This 45 minutes, you can divide it by 60, right? And then that would give you 0.75, which you add it to the hour. In this case, that's 10, right? So I have 5 of those. I have 10.75. That would be for from Monday to Friday, and then plus. And how about this guy here for Saturday? That's a very simple subtraction because the answer is 10 hours, and that's only 1 day. So plus 10. And then here we get 3 hours, 15 minutes, right? This is quite an easy, guys, this subtraction, as we go further and further, I expect you to do it mentally in your mind, because doing this, it's kind of time consuming. However, it's all right if you want to do this, because I believe this question carries, it carries 2 marks. It's all right. So this one is equivalent to 3 hours, 3.25 hour. Okay, again, this is minutes. You need to convert that to hours as well, and that gives you a quarter. Or you didn't need to do this. These number, as well as 45 minutes, these are easy numbers to work with. This is a quarter, and this is 3/4, right? 3/4, guys, from the fraction and the decimals, you know, the 3/4 is 0.75 and a quarter is 0.25, right? So, but for the sake of completion, I'm writing down everything. So you could do this faster in the exam. After all, you don't need to explain to anyone in the exam, right? So you add that here, 3.25, and now you can grab your calculator and try to key in, see what would be the answer. The final answer, whatever it is, it should be in hours automatically because we've done the conversion. So that would be 67 hours. All right, but let's move on to the next question. Question number 7, we have a ferry from Helsinki to Travemünde. I don't know where that town is. Leaves Helsinki at 7:30 on a Tuesday. The journey takes 28 hours, 45 minutes. Work out the day and time that the ferry arrives in Travemünde. It sounds like German, but doesn't matter. Let's begin. So we know the duration of the journey, that would be 5:30 p.m., 17:30. That's the time of departure. Work out the day and arrives. Oh, the day as well. Yeah, of course, because this is more than one day, right? Anything bigger than 24 hours, that would be a day already. So what we need to do, if you add 24 hours to this guy right here, that would be 17:30 on Wednesday, right? So just add the 24 hours. And then what we left with is that extra 4 hours, 45 minutes, right? 4 hours, 45 minutes. And then you can add that. So it's already Wednesday. Imagine it's Wednesday, 17:30. So you add that 4 hour, 45 minute to see the time of arrival, which is this guy. These two gives me 75, but you subtract 60 from it. And then you add here instead. And we get 5 plus 17, which is 22:15 on Wednesday. So the day is Wednesday, the time is 22:15 or 10:15 p.m. So question number 8. A bus leaves a port every 15 minutes starting at 9. The last bus leaves at 17:30. How many times does a bus leave the port during the day? Okay, so that seems a bit tricky, but all you need to know is to calculate the total time or the duration, the operation of the bus, right? Which is from 9 to 17:30 or 5:30 p.m. And then divide that by a quarter, because this is a quarter or 0.25 hour, right? So let me find the answer in hours and then I divide it by that to see how many times the bus leave, okay? So 17:30 minus 9, that would be 8:30. So 8 hours and 30 minutes, which is actually 8.5 hours, right? And then we want to see how many of these quarters we can fit into 8.5 hours. So you divide 8.5 hours by 0.25 and the answer would be 34 times. 34 times from 9 a.m. till 5:30 p.m. the operation, that's the time of this bus, the operational hour, right? So every 15 minutes. So that's it. I think it's quite clear, the procedure. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 9. Again, we're provided with a table. That's the basically time schedule for opening and closing of a cafe this time. Okay, is open for a total of 100 hours each week. Work out the opening time on Saturday. All right. So that's a nice question. It's a little bit different from the previous table. So here we don't have the opening time, but we've given the total number of hours that this cafe is open. And so far in previous question, we've been asked to find it. So it's okay. What we need to do is to see, hopefully from Monday to Friday, it's fixed. Let's say each day, how many hours is that? Well, we have 22 minus 6. That gives us 16 hours. And how many we have? We have 5 days, right? So plus this guy right here is 13 minus 8. It's just 3 hours on Sunday. And plus, let's say X, we don't know, and X is the number of hours that the cafe is open on Saturday. This should add up to 100, right? So that gives us X, the total number of hours the cafe is open on Saturday. So that would give us 16 times 5 plus 3. So that is 17. X is 17. So 17 hours, I'm going to subtract it from 22 and see when the shop must be open. If we close at 10 p.m. or 22, and we need to be open for 17 hours. So the answer is 5. Well, they open 5 a.m. That's too early. Let me do the calculation one more time. That is 5 times, okay, 5 times 16 plus, okay, that's the mistake right there. This should be, yeah, this should be 5. I don't know why I put 3 here. Guys, 13 minus 8 is 5. I don't know where the 3 came from. And this should be 15, therefore. And this is 15. And it's 7 a.m. Yeah, that sounds better. Okay, it's still early for Saturday, but it's better than 5 a.m. So sorry about the mistake. Don't make a careless mistake like what I did here. All right, I think we're done with this question. Does it have a part B? Okay, there is a part B. The owner decides to close the cafe at a later time on Sunday. This increases the total number of hours the cafe is open by 4%. So what I like what they did here, they used percentage, right? Increase by 4%. If you have watched the videos regarding the percentage topic, you know the 4% increase of 100 hours is how much. You can simply multiply it by 1.04, right? That's what we used to do. Actually, the original version is 1 plus 4%, which actually gives you, it's the same thing as multiplying 100 by 1.04, and the answer is actually 104. I don't even need a calculator for that. So now the total number of working hours is 104, but in order to compensate that extra 4 hours, he decides to work late on Sundays, right? So I have to increase the closing, the closing time on Sundays 4 hours, right? I just have to increase it by 4 hours, and that gives me 17, right? 17 or 5 p.m. So that's the answer. The answer is 13 plus 4, 17, right? Okay, and we move on to the next question, question number 10. A plane took 1 hour and 10 minutes to fly from Riyadh to Jeddah. The plane arrived in Jeddah at 23:05. At what time did the plane depart from Riyadh? So, all right. So it's a matter of subtraction because we've given the arrival time. So 23:05 minus the duration. So 1 hour 10. Then I need to borrow 1 from 23, becomes 22. And that adds 60 units to 5, which becomes 65. And 65 minus 10, that is actually 50. 22 minus 1 is 21. So the departure took place at 9:50 p.m. or basically 29:50. It carries only 1 mark, guys. So yeah, no need to do any conversion. Then question number 11, a cyclist left Melbourne on Wednesday, 21st of May at 9:45 to travel to Sydney. The journey took 97 hours. Wow. Okay, definitely they need to ask for time. So I suggest you to divide. It carries 3 marks, guys. You have to divide 97 by 24 first to see how many days it took, how many days, and the remainder would be the hours. So I can fit 3, if I'm not mistaken. No, 4. Yeah, 4 times 24, 96. So, all right, so 4 days, 97 hours is 4 days and 1 hour, right? So do the same thing that we did for a similar question few questions ago, the previous question. So 21st May, 9:45. So you add 4 days to it, you get to 25th of May, 9:45, right? And then you add that 1 hour. So that would be 10:45, 25th of May, right? As simple as that. All right, let's move on to, so you just needed to know that 1 day is 24 hours, right? Nothing difficult here. Next question. Okay. At 5:06, Mr. Ho bought 850 fish at the fish market for $2.62 each. 95 minutes later, he sold them all to a market. Okay, that's a good deal right there. He's making profit. What was the time when he sold the fish? So 5:06, he bought them 95 minutes later. So you cannot, okay, what you can do, you can put 95, but that makes it complicated. Convert it, I would rather convert this to hour and minute. Just subtract 60 from it and you left with 35 minutes. So this is equal to 1 hour, 35 minutes, right? And then you add it because they say later, 95 minutes later. So when you add this, you get 6:41, right? At 6:41, he sells them and then calculate his total profit. Well, it shouldn't be a problem calculating this. Since we are at it, let's do it. So $2.86 minus $2. So this is the profit that he made, but there are 850 fish. So you need to multiply that by 850 at the end. So 24 cents on each fish, and in total, 204, right, US dollar. Okay, is this the last question? Oh, there is one more, and I think we can stop after this. The Canadian Maple Leaf train timetable from Toronto to Buffalo is shown below. How long does the journey take from Toronto to Buffalo? Oh, okay, so that's just a matter of subtraction, right? We just subtract these two, and that gives us the answer, 1030, 1325 minus 1030. So that would be 85 minus 30, 55. That would be 2 hours, 55 minutes. The journey is 154 kilometers. Calculate the average speed of the train. So I'm gonna convert this. What you can do, you can convert this 55 minutes to hour as well. So we can find the final speed in terms of kilometer per hour. So right now we have 2 hours, 55 minutes, and you know what to do. You can divide 55 by 60, and that gives you basically in hour, right? So 2 hours, 55, all right. And then speed is distance over time, 154 divided by, let me see the table one more time. Okay. Yeah, that was correct. So divided by, okay, 53.1, that's the average in kilometer per hour, right? So 1 decimal place or 3 significant figure is sufficient. So, and I think that's a good place to stop. Thank you for watching the video. I see you guys in the future videos.